brothers and sister. I am Ellie Weber, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. We have like a family, a community of people that meet every night, 6 days a week. I don't broadcast on Friday night. Otherwise, we try our hardest. Sometimes we miss, but we are basically here all week long. Welcome home. Welcome home to a place where you can really be yourself and you can really think the thoughts that make you so special. It really it's just an amazing thing. Let's see if I can get the chats on. Okay, I got the chats. But yeah, so we're living out in the mountains in northwest Arizona in the Aquarius Mountains. We are building a homestead for ourselves. We have it was me and Daniela joined me a couple years ago, and we left. Hey, Danny, we left New York City. We were living in a high rise right on the ocean. It was a pretty cool place, but she health for health reasons, her eczema was acting up, and we decided to move. We couldn't afford a house. We wanted to move to Arizona, but the house prices. We originally looked in Prescott. Prescott had because of Brian Best. I don't have his coffee. Daniela's making me the coffee now, but Brian Best of spiritualbeingcoffee.com recommended that I come to Prescott. He said there are trees here. It's a beautiful climate, and it really is. It's a wonderful place. So we went. We I saw a developer was advertising a property, a development for sale. We went out and we fell in love with the place, but it was just way out of our price range, and we just started looking for houses ever since. We went back to New York, and we started looking for houses that we could afford, and there was nothing even remotely that resembled anything that I would even consider living in, and the prices were ridiculous. I would have to get a new mortgage, which I I don't have the credit to do, and I don't have the wherewithal to. I'm 71. I don't really feel like starting over with a mortgage or getting involved with that. But anyway, so we're looking on Zillow for houses that we could afford, and we saw this property in Kingman, near Kingman, Arizona, that that was just too good to pass up. It was 170 acres for 120,000, and just to a kid living in a high rise in New York, it was just like a kid at 70. I was in my mid 60s. I was just like, let's buy it. I mean, let's see if we can buy it. So I called the guy up and I said, I can't, I have terrible credit. And he says, don't worry about it. We have a lender and all this other stuff. Anyway, that's another story. It didn't work out as nicely I had pictured. It was everything to this day that we do is a literal impossibility. Everything we do on a daily basis is beyond normal. It doesn't so okay, so anyway, so we ended up living here. We Danielle and I have spent 2 years on the land in an RV. We've developed it. We've got a well now. We are building a house around the RV. I finally got my studio up and running. I have a ceiling here. We don't get much rain here. The ceiling is really to protect from the sun. But we're living the dream. We're living an impossibility. I turned my 401k into a piece of desert land. It's desert out here. The only reason I got such a good price on the land was A, that it's totally undeveloped, and B, there's nothing on the land that anybody with normal eyes would want. There's no flat land. We had to knock down part of a mountain with our friend's help in order to find a flat place to really develop, because there's nothing here. I basically bought the inside, the lower part of a canyon that goes up to a higher place, a mountain, on the other side. But it's I basically bought a mile long canyon that nobody else wanted. It's an impossibility. But anyway, so today, after living through impossibility after impossibility. So Daniela and I came up here. We had 3-gallon jugs. We thought that was going to help us with the water situation. I mean, we had no idea what we're getting into, but we just believed in creation, and we have grit, and that's what I really want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about grit, and I'm going to relate this to Abraham Lincoln a little bit. At any rate, we came up here. I was afraid to drive with I have a truck, but I was afraid to drive with the RV on the highway. I mean, it was just this is way beyond my skill sets. And the guy who's we found a used RV for like I think it was 8 grand, and it's an old RV, but we had some silver. I converted my whole 401k into silver and gold, so we traded some silver, and we got up here. It's been one impossibility after another, but we lived here for 2 years, and we made the best of it. And then now we have a well, and every day it gets more interesting and more beautiful. Now we have trees. We bought a bunch of fruit trees and nut trees. We have gardens. We have a friend, and I call him an angel plus, because he's not like a regular guy. He's like an angel, but he was listening to my broadcast, and he sent me a message. He says, "I want to come up. I want to live off the matrix with you." And he's just an amazing. Just I thought I knew something about plants and gardening. I know nothing compared to James. James has developed this. We're eating fresh vegetables. We have chickens now and eggs. We're getting our own eggs, and we're expanding. We're going to have turkeys soon. It's just expanding. We're going to have goats eventually. We actually found a place in Kingman where we can get raw goat's milk for the animals, of course. I mean, right? The only animals drink raw milk. So but that's another story. But I'm just telling you that I wanted to give you a little bit of background. I know most of you sort of know the story, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background to introduce a story that happened this morning. This morning, Danielle and I slept till 8 o'clock, which for me, a nervous little Jewish guy from New York, is unheard of. But I slept. I didn't get up in the night. I didn't, I don't want to be gross, but I don't have to pee anymore thanks to X39. I don't have to pee. I mean, I don't know why people aren't running to get this Y age. This is like, if you don't feel like getting old, you may want to, I invite you to try. I'm moving this is a surprise for me too, but I never know what I'm going to say when I get out here. But I'm now in my studio. I'm on my second floor in this house, but these patches are unbelievable. I use X39 every day. I don't leave home without it. It's just that's the way I feel about it. But I don't have to pee anymore. I'm 71. I mean, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't get this. So call Dr. Stacy, get with the program. I don't have back. I met a neighbor on the way up, and he says, "Well, I have sciatica." I said, "Well, get the patch." He's like, "No, no." He says, "I have sciatica." People are convinced by the quack doctors, by the killer doctors, that you can't be cured of anything that they don't feel has you cured, like sciatica. If you have sciatica, you're just going to lounge around in pain for all eternity. That's bullshit. That's what the creepazoid doctors want you to believe. Whereas, like I was suffering from major back pain. I'm building a house. I'm 71 years old, for God's sakes. I'm building a house. I don't have back pain anymore, thanks to X39 stimulates stem cell production. I take a bunch of other patches, and I drink the X2O water every day. The X2O water is designed to keep you young. It puts light directly into your body. It's a unique patented technology from LifeWave, where it processes your water, takes all the nanoparticles and all the microplastics and everything out of the water. It purifies the water. It's not like a water filter per se, but it gives you this water that's infused with 6 wavelengths of light. You drink it. So the idea, David Schmidt's idea, is that he has these patches which reflect. There's nothing in the patches that goes into your body. It reflects your own light in certain frequencies through a crystalline lattice back into your body, and stimulates, like in the case of X39, stem cell production. So you stay young. You stay, you can, and you can. I mean, for me, I don't nap. I don't pee all the time. I'm just, I sleep at night. Do you understand what that means? To have to sleep through the night for me? I used to get up 5 times in the night. I used to wake up at 3 in the morning religiously. It's a whole different lifestyle. Anyway, so I encourage everyone, I invite everyone to call Dr. Stacy, get with the program, get the X2O machine. If you can pull it off. PayPal has some kind of deal. I think I'm finding my life is, I'm just getting younger every day. Anyway, that's deciding. So I just wanted to go into that a little bit. But the story I wanted to tell is that we live an impossible life. Nothing here makes sense. It's not, if you're a worried, fear-based person, you would not be able to handle this. We're like living in paradise, man. We're off the matrix. Thanks to Diane, we're able to pay off the mortgage, and we don't deal with money. It's like a rainbow gathering. We don't, I don't say, well, James, if you want steak tonight, you're going to have to help contribute. We don't do any of that shit. We just, I use my pension. We use whatever money we get from LifeWave, and we share it. We buy fruit trees. This is life, man. I don't understand why everyone isn't running. Why I haven't gotten 1,000 emails saying, like, you know what? I really want to come up. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see if it's for me. I don't understand. But okay. But anyway, so let me tell you this story from this morning. This morning, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping till 8 o'clock. Do you know? But anyway, I'm sleeping till 8 o'clock. And James outside. As soon as I open the door, James says, "We got a problem. We got an issue." So I was thinking to myself, that's probably the water situation. I just sort of had that feeling. Because I've been hearing the pump. We have a pump. We have a well. We have a pump. We have a second pump that pumps the water from the storage tank into the RV, which we're hoping will move out soon and finish the house and the greenhouses and the chicken coops. And we're going to build another coop for turkeys. We have a dear friend who's going to give us some turkeys. So we have to build a new house for the turkeys. I mean, this is life. I don't worry. We don't sit here and, that got us into trouble, but we were able to, we paid it off. And so can you. I'm sure with your 401k, you can convert it into a piece of land and probably have lots extra to share. But people are not willing to leave their comfort zone. You don't want to live in paradise. You want to take the blue pill and just like stay in the matrix. And I said a couple of nights ago, if you take the blue pill and you want to stay in the matrix, don't complain. Enjoy it. Enjoy the matrix. That's your choice. Whatever choice you make is okay. It's okay to stay in the matrix. Anyway, so James says, we got a problem. It immediately flashed. And this is how the divine works. This is how, if you're open, if you're not scared all the time, if you don't have, oh, well, I can't do this, and on Fridays I can't do that, and oh my gosh, my 401k and my car payment, and if you have all these thoughts in your mind, you'll never be able to contact the force. You won't be able to use the force. I use the force. So the force immediately popped in my mind. The filter's clogged, man. And this is how we live. We live by this divine flow. We don't have to worry about, well, what happens if this happens? So it's like, no, when this happens, we figure it out. Now, typically, this is interesting. Typically, in this kind of a situation, I would go hog wild. Like we had a problem with the other pump, with the well pump. And I immediately went out and I spent all this money on a new generator, and I tried all these things, and I tried rewind. I went crazy. That's my usual way of doing things. With James here, James is like, well, what's going on? I said, well, there's, Anyway, we figured out there's a little teeny filter, looks like a pot pipe. You know, you put a little screen in your pot pipe. And by the way, you can grow pot here. You can do whatever you want here. We can do whatever. We don't have inspectors. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't with my house. With my septic tank. Did I get no? If they want to come and make an issue, they'll make an issue, but they haven't so far. And I'm like, I already told them, I'm like, I'm not paying my speeding ticket. I'm not going to register my car. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Okay. And they've like left me alone. So, I'm just saying, like, if you want to stay in the matrix, you could. If you want to move out and live in paradise, you could also. We eat like you would dream. Somebody came up, Diane came up here, and they we fed him a meal, and she said, "Well, you don't eat like this every night, do you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we do. We do eat like this. We fast till 12. We eat a bunch of fruit, and then about 6 or 7 o'clock after the broadcast, we cook these amazing meals. Like, we cook potato. Now, right now, we're cooking potatoes and butter on the fire. We cook everything most things on the fire." And then we have some steak. Last night we had steak and chicken because, Danielle is a little fussy, so we try to accommodate her. And we had beautiful salads, and we have fresh zucchini. We have so much zucchini up here. We don't know what to do with it. I think I'm going to make zucchini soup. But anyway, the long and the short of it is with James here, I don't panic because he knows what he's doing, and he's also really fussy about doing things the right way. I'm not. My mo is just get it fucking done. I don't care what I'm a nervous Jewish New Yorker, man. I'm like, we got to build this house, But I'm learning from James to just sort of take my time and processes. So he helped me. So there's a problem in the pump that goes into the RV. I said, I know it's the filter. I was able to unscrew it. Thanks to Lawrence came and set up this whole system. I unscrewed it. I cleaned out the little pot screen in the water system. And then we realized that we didn't have the right fittings to complete the to redo the piping on the PVC system. So we had to go to town, which is a real drag for me. Because in town, I get the vibes of the Matrix. I'm like in the Matrix. Out here, I feel very, everything is cool. Everything is comfortable. We're all, we have our moments, but it's amazing. Brian Best, spiritualbeingcoffee.com. Great, amazing organic coffee. Okay. So yeah, call Dr. Stacey. So we fixed it. So now it's fixed. Danielle heard us. Very good hearing. She's like super hearing. She heard us saying, "Yeah, we'll wait till tomorrow morning." She thought that meant that what we meant was tomorrow morning we're going to check the little pot filter in the water system to see if it's clogged again. That's all. But she heard, we'll wait till tomorrow morning. She thought she wasn't going to be able to take a shower. So she freaked. But we said, no, just talk to us. And, the shower is completely operable. I just took a shower too, which is, whatever. Okay. So, so we fixed it. And it's better than new. In the past, it was leaking, and we decided to just forget about it. But now we're getting there. We're about to order a sink for the house, which is a major movement. Instead of using everything that's in the RV, the sink and everything in the RV, we're going to eventually be moving the RV out of this enclave and finishing the house and living in a house. And then we're going to add other houses. We're going to have a place for, I want to design, design, money. We don't have money. We don't have like $10,000 to invest in a house or to buy a Q hut or anything like that. but I buy this like lumber. I buy it from the lumber yards when it's curved and nobody wants it, and I buy it for pennies on the dollar. And just like we get these windows at a used window place for 25 bucks a pop because nobody wants a sliding glass door that doesn't operate except us. Just like nobody wanted this land because it's unusable land. Nobody wanted it except us. We were like, "Hey, man, this is 170 acres. Are you kidding me? I don't care if it's all mountainside. Who cares? It's canyon. We're up here, man. I mean, we're living here. We've been living here for 2 years. So anyway, the point is that you can do the impossible, and I'm gonna go through some things. I was shocked, by the way, the other night. I was looking at the thing, and there were like 80 people listening. And I had 60,000 people on YouTube. I was actually making a living before they canceled me. They canceled me like 5 years ago, and now they will never ever. YouTube will never ever let me even apply for monetization. And X, you have to have like millions of views, but I don't care. I mean, we make, that's what I'm saying. Do the impossible. And I'm going to show you something that is very near and dear to me. And we watch, we have a nice life here. We work all day long. We work, James and I work all day long. I either broadcast or I'm building. And that's my pleasure zone, man. I love doing this. I mean, what could be better? Okay, so, and James is an artisan, so everything he makes is like a piece of artwork. The chicken coop is not just a chicken coop. It's like, whoa, he's made it from mill, from lumber from the sawmill. It's beautiful, thick lumber. Everything here is like that. So that he builds. My stuff is kind of like slam bam. It's like I kind of I'm an old time. I'm sort of whatever. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, that we're in the flow. We're in the flow out here, and you feel really good out here. You feel like a mensch. You feel like a man. You're not. When I'm in the city, I notice that I'm like kind of like okay, let's get the grapefruits and get the hell out of here. But it's not bad. I love Kingman, by the way. I love just the people are just so sweet here. I didn't want to be in an elite town. Actually, Prescott is a little bit elite for me. Even though I wanted originally to live there, but I don't have millions of dollars. Okay, but I'm just like letting you know there have been many days where I thought to myself, what am I doing? I'm I'm a piano player. I'm a flautist. Why am I sitting at the piano bench? Like that elephant joke. But there are many days, many times when I thought to myself, like when I was up against a situation like today. In the old days, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We have to get a new system. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to buy stuff." And that's not the way. When you live off grid, you can't do that. So in this time, I was just like, take a deep breath. What's the problem? The problem came right into my mind. It's the filter. Just change the filter. And then I'm saying, explaining to James, we always had a leak here. And he says, okay, let's cut it here, cut it here. We just need another elbow. So I went to town to get the elbow. The point is like this: grit. You got it. You eventually you realize you can deal with it. I mean, you can deal with it. Do you know what it was like when my well pump broke down, pulling out 700 plus feet of line out of the thing and stretching it on the all the way down the property, almost to the property edge, and then changing this was Norman and Ed. I don't know if Ed's listening, but Ed and Norman are my heroes, and Lisa. I love you guys. And we're making friends out here. That's friends is never a hard thing for me. I'm kind of an opportunist that way. Not that I would diss any of my old friends, but basically my relationship with everyone in the world is At the time I'm talking to you, you are my best friend. So let's, what are you really thinking about? Let's get to the goods, man. Let's not we don't have to make small talk. Okay. So so here's this is where I'm leading with this. A couple of New York, she's from Pennsylvania. She came. She has certain like physical disabilities, let's say, and I was just like, I don't care. You want to help me. We want to do this together. Let's rock. And that's my attitude about everything in my life. Whatever comes to my life, great, let's do it. If it doesn't work out, it's just like, okay, let's go on to the next thing. But everything that comes my way, I say, let's rock. And I'll take it to the end. If it doesn't work out. If it does work out, great. Whatever. Okay, that's just, and that I believe that's being in the divine flow, because only wonderful things come to you. You don't have to worry about making the wrong choice anymore, because every choice is right. And if it's wrong, you'll know it and you'll move on. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm now going to share a post. I watch guy that is filming the new highway construction in Kingman. They're building a bypass connecting Interstate 11. Right. Interstate 11, oddly enough, goes right, is the corridor 11, they're going to call it, is right, coincidentally, right when we drive down from the mountain, 8 miles on a dirt road, we come out on what's going to be corridor 11. Just coincidentally, we only talk with my daughter and my older sister. Okay, I think you are dosing on X39. Slow down. Right. Right. Yeah, I don't do relax very well. I'm not really that interested in it. And when I come, and I do drink coffee when I'm on the doing the video, but the thoughts come so fast that I have to keep up with the thoughts. All right, so now I'm going to from Kentucky. Yeah, Golden Arrow. I know you guys. I know you. Okay, so yeah, I was amazed that about the viewership, that one night, 2 nights ago, was like there were 8,000 people on the channel. I mean, that's like the old days. In the old days, I could have 30,000 people on until they canceled me. I've been canceled, and it's not fair. It's just wrong. But I believe in the end we're going to come out just fine, because I like what I'm doing, and I believe in what I'm doing, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, all the money or anything. Okay, we come up here on a ladder that I built. It's a wooden ladder made from curvy 2x4s. It's dangerous. Yeah, it's a little dangerous. Actually, it's made from 2x3s. But we need to build a staircase. That's in the works. Everything is in the works. But like I'm saying, it's an impossibility. Okay. With that said, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast. It's just my way. So now I'm going to share something that really is an example of what I'm talking about in terms of grit. Like, if you really want something, go for it. You're living this life, and you might as well enjoy it. If you want to live in the matrix, embrace the matrix. I mean, live it. I'm sorry, there's something in my teeth. Embrace the matrix. Just be happy with it. Okay, so look at this post. Ready? Let's see if this comes up the way I want it. No, it did. Oh, this is totally bizarre. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. How do I fix this? Let's go to here. Yes, this is the post I wanted to show. So let me go to here. No, let's go to here. Okay, and then enlarge it a bit. Okay, so contact Dr. Stacy. That's the bottom line. Now, here is a post that really, I don't have the words to properly express what this means. But think about it. Think about this biography. I'm going to read clips. I'm going to read the highlights of the life of Abraham Lincoln, one of my heroes. I wrote when I was 9 years old. I wrote a book, a little a little pamphlet about how much I respected Abraham Lincoln.
I chose to do a biography on him.
You also did?
Yeah.
Daniela, too. We both love Abraham Lincoln. Now, listen to this. This man was born in 1809. Excuse me, I'm drinking too fast. In 1816, at age 7, he was forced to work because his family was expelled. I guess what they're talking about is they were expelled from Libya. I think he grew up in Libya and they were expelled. In 1818, he lost his mother. In 1829, he lost his sister. In 1831, he opened his first business and went bankrupt. In 1832, he stood in the legislative elections and lost. In 1833, he borrowed money to open another business and went bankrupt again. In 1835, he met a wonderful woman. He falls in love with her. They get engaged, and she dies. This is Abraham Lincoln, man. I mean, you know, um, okay. In 1836, he entered a dark period of his life, deep depression. Who wouldn't be depressed, the poor guy? He remains bedridden for 6 consecutive months, but he gets up. He gets up, and in that same year, 1836, he runs in the legislative elections and loses again. In 1840, he presented himself as an elector. He loses. In 1842, he met the woman he would end his life with. They fall in love, get engaged, get married, and she gives him 4 children, and they lose 3. 3 of his children die, God forbid, or the opposite of life. In 1843, he appeared at the Congresses and lost. In 1845, he appeared again at the Congresses and lost again. In 1850, his son died. In 1854, he ran for the Senate and lost. In 1856, he ran for vice president. He didn't even have 100 votes. In 1858, he ran again for the Senate and lost again. And in 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president of the United States for America. He was elected for 2 exceptional terms. He was assassinated in beginning of his second term. He was one of the most respected and impactful presidents in the history of the United States. It's important to tell this story of perseverance because we see the hero, but we don't see the backstage or the afflictions. I think this is a great example to never give up. I mean, can you believe this? He won't get out of bed for 6 months. He's so depressed. And what was it? And that was, let me see when that was. He entered a period of deep depression. He remains bedridden. Okay, in 1840, and so in 1836, so in 1836 to 1860, that's 24 years, if my math serves me correctly. Remember, I'm a recovering math teacher, so I can't really do math, especially after dealing with what do they call that math at the Department of Education? I can't remember, but it was horrific. Anyway, I'm still able to count a little bit. Do you understand what this means? And I'm talking about grit. I'm talking about getting up and doing what you really are born to do. I think the food is finally starting to dislodge from my face. Okay, let's see if we can put this down. I was looking for that post for a while. 6, 7, my daughter, 6 today. That's wonderful, Danny. I think you overdosing on, yeah. Okay, you can think that. Urban prepper. I only talked to my daughter. Okay, but this is an example of grit, of grit, of true grit. You want a blue pill? Do it with grit too. Oh, sorry, I rushed up here. Urban prepper will be. Yeah, he's redeemed that. Okay, so that's very interesting. Let's now. I just and I just want everyone to really just take a minute and just think to yourself what you could be doing with your life if you had that kind of grit, if you had that kind of perseverance, if you stuck with it. Oh gosh, so sorry. Um, I should have taken the time properly. I did brush my teeth, but I didn't do it properly. Anyway, th- we are alive. We are creators. We when we get past the fear, and admittedly, it's not easy when you live in the city to get past the fear, to get past your 401k, to get past your fear of losing everything. But if you do, and like I said, we're watching The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, as a community, a small community. James and I are like loving it because we like action Jackson movies. Okay, we are experiencing a massive liberation event. Okay, this is a massive liberation event. What are we being liberated from? Can I just move a little bit? The sun is a bit in my face. What are we being liberated from? Taxes, car payments, or something far deeper? Something that resonates in the deepest part of your soul, that you've always had since you were a child. You've always had this feeling like, I came here to do something, right? Didn't I'm sure everyone can relate, especially if you're on this channel. You didn't so sorry. You didn't find your way to this channel willy-nilly. You didn't find your way to this thought stream because you live in the matrix. You are probably most of you are rebels from the
Not
get-go.
plugged in.
It's not working.
No,
Why?
I don't know. It's not plugged in.
It is plugged in and it was working before. Well, I think I have enough. I'll keep my eye on it. It's maybe it got unplugged downstairs. I don't know. My channel, like I've been doing this for I don't know how many years. How did I start this channel? Why did I start this channel? I started this channel, and I know this is a repeat for people who've been on the channel for a long time. How did I end up making videos? Well, my administrator, when I was working in the Department of Education, I was a special needs teacher. They were all about wanting to fire me, so I figured I'd get a special needs license, and I started working under that license. And I really like working with people with special needs. So I'm working under this license. Uh, the Holocaust, the vaccine Holocaust. I mean the this thing comes along, the lockdown comes along, right? So I'm so sorry. I'm teaching from home on video. And my admin, who was somebody I did not like at all, he was a real well, I did like him to some degree because he was a guitar player, was a musician, and he was somewhat sympathetic, but basically not. He was an asshole. All the administrators that I dealt with, except for Miss Meek. Yeah, I don't know if Miss Natalie Meek. She should be blessed. She should be. She was the only administrator, except for Mister. Um, there was a vice principal when I first started. I can't remember his name, but okay. But there were only two. No, there were. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. There were some good admin. I had some nice administrators. I had some nice administrators in. Okay, but that's not the point. The point is, okay. So he said to me, Abraham Lincoln saved America after the Civil War because he united the country. The British had him killed because they wanted to divide and weak America. Well, it wasn't just the British; it was the Satanist. It was the Illuminati. It was the what do you call those creeps from the Vatican? The the armed wing of the Vatican. This is a much deeper thing than just the normal history. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But so Melody, that was a good point, and I'm going to show you kind of what it means. But he was what do you call those creeps? The whatever. It starts with a J. But okay, follow me here. Let me just get this. So okay, so this administrator called me, said you have to start making videos. You have to make videos for the kids. I know you've heard this story. Most of you long-term people who have been on this channel have heard this, but he said you got to make videos for the kids. The kids are going there. It's not enough just to talk to them online. So I made a video about the peach tree that I was growing in the middle of Brooklyn. I had a peach tree in my front yard. I had grown it from seed. And all this other stuff. And at the time I made the video, the big peaches, were hanging from the branches. It looked like Garden of Eden in the middle of Brooklyn, on a corner in Brooklyn. So I made this video, and it was just like suddenly I was alive. I was like, wow, man! I was talking and about the experience of growing of eating this peach that was so delicious that I wanted to plant it, which is exactly what James is doing now. When we eat a piece of fruit that we like, we put it in the ground, we propagate it. So anyway, I made this video. My son helped me. My son is very technologically advanced. Helped me make the video. I made this beautiful video about the peach tree, and the administrator's comment was, "Weber, what are you doing? What's the learning point here? Where's the skill? You have to teach these kids the skill." Mind you, the kids were severely handicapped. I mean, severely. They could not speak. They could not move. And I had to teach them skills, not life skills. Life skills were not to be taught. They had to learn how to count. They had to learn how to read and write. That was, and not anything that would actually help them. Okay, whatever. But he's like, "Weber, what are you doing here? There's no, what's the learning skill you're teaching them?" So I was a total flop. But I thought to myself, I really like making videos. I really like talking and developing a point, making a video. And I've been making videos ever since. It's probably been 10 years that I started publishing. My son told me how to upload on YouTube. After 2 years, I had 13 subscribers. 13 subscribers, and 11 of those subscribers were from my yeshiva class, the yeshiva boys. I taught the bad boys in the yeshiva, and they found out that I had a YouTube channel, and they all subscribed. And then it went from 13. Finally, I made it up to 100, and then I had 1,000, and before you knew it, I had 60,000 people. I was streaming every night for tens of thousands of people, and I was getting paid a nice bit of change for 3 months. 3 months YouTube paid me, and then that was canceled forever. But the point is, And having making these videos has just made my life so sweet in that it gives me a real sense of purpose. And I don't care if I never get monetized on YouTube, because the reward is in the doing. And I have there are a lot of people that reach out to me and say, "You've really helped me. I'm so glad you have this channel," and all this other stuff. It means a lot to me when somebody writes me and says, "Hey man, you really changed my life." You think, "Oh, he's got thousands," but no, I don't get any. I don't get the benefit of the financial reward. It's like, wow, I made, in the old days, I made 15,000 in a month from YouTube. That was like, wow, I'm really making the grade. I got fired from my job in the Department of Education because I wouldn't get vaxxed. I lost my YouTube channel, and I'm still making videos 10 years later. And it just happened the other night. It went to 8,000 on my live. I was like, wow, man, that's like the old days. It was like beautiful. But I don't know what AI is doing. I don't know, if I'm getting censored on. It doesn't matter. I make videos. And I think, I think that this is success. I'm building a house the kind of house I really want to live in. I have a community here we're not picky-ooning about, maybe I do bitch a bit to Danielle about buying things she wants, but I'm sorry, baby. But anyway, we listen, I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to point myself as this enlightened being, this guru, anything like that. 6 years ago, your wife was doing dishes in the background, right? You had a flare up, and it was just the beginning of COVID. Yeah. So I left my community. I left the Jesuits, right? The Jesuits, man, these are armed assassins. These are killer murderers, criminals that run the world. Abraham Lincoln knew about the Jesuits. He knew that the bankers, the Jesuit bankers, whatever you want to call them, Khazarian, the Jesuits, the Ndrangheta, the Council of 300, whatever you want to call these creeps, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but they run the world, and they killed Abraham Lincoln. He was just too good. I mean, there's things that say he was related to, I don't want to go into that whole savior thing, because I'm not into it. But okay, but anyway, grit. You have to have grit. Yeah, is it scary to leave the Matrix? Yeah. Do you have to leave the Matrix? No. Should you leave the Matrix? I don't know. I'm not going to make a judgment call like that. Maybe instead of Guru Gulch, consider Lincoln Landing. There you go. That's nice, Lincoln Land. But I want to pay homage to Ayn Rand, because I love Abraham Lincoln, but Ayn Rand, she nailed it with Atlas Shrugged. She nailed it. That all the people of talent just started to disappear. I'm not saying that I have talent, but I did attract James, and James is a person of unbelievable talent. He's a craftsman. He's an artist. He has a way of dealing with plants and animals that I will never have. He's a real talent. I want to collect that kind of talent up here. That I want to be like Galt's Gulch. Okay, that's and have these little architectural jewels around the property in select locations, and people could come up here and spend a few months in one of these little houses and live in the desert with the Miraglium in the Old Testament, that Moses sent out these 10 spies to check out the land. And they all came back with an evil report. They said they're giants, which now we see is true. They were giants, and we're like grasshoppers, and we can't take them, and God's not tough enough. God. And but the Rebbe interprets it that the Miraglium were so happy to live in the Midbar, in the desert, because in the desert There's nothing but godliness. There's no, there, it's, people call me from my old community. They're like, do you still pray? I'm like, I don't want to take time from communing with God to pray. I mean, they don't understand what I'm talking about. But if you're up here and you're living in a divine providence, you're living with your mind is clean, and you're eating clean food, and you're living with people that are on the same page as you, and everything comes to you in a divine way. You don't have to worry about, well, my house doesn't meet code, and will this part of my house fall apart? I expect my house to be an ongoing thing for forever. I don't ever want to stop building this house, and other houses around it, because I want my house to be a living entity, and I want to be able to say, okay, James, let's build a greenhouse in this room right now. And that's what we're dealing with here. We're doing what we want to do when we want to do it. We take our time, or I'm learning to take my time, but we're living here and getting to do what humans were meant to do. And we eat like kings. We have freshly grown, we have our own eggs. We have our own zucchini now. We're growing a huge crop of bok choy. That's the next thing. Carrots, whatever. I mean, we're living the life. Fresh tomatoes. What do you want? Well, I want my XRP. I want to be a multimillionaire. Why? What are you going to buy? You're going to buy this. You're going to buy this. It'll just be more developed, maybe. But why not just do it yourself? I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me, but that's another thing. Okay, so now let's loop back. I want to go back to Melody's point, and the idea of the Jesuits. Who is behind this thing? It's all about the archons. It's all about Lush. It's about these demonic forces. So let's go to another post. Got to this thing here. Okay, let's go to here. And this will be, there are a lot of posts that I found that I think are quite exquisite. I'm just going to go through them. We're going to scroll up together. We live in this new age where you can, what happened here? Why is it like that? That's not that. It's this one. Okay, that's good enough. And if I enlarge it. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll, show you some of the things. Don't try to bend the government. That's impossible. Instead, realize the truth. There is no government, only banks and corporations. I like that. You weren't sent here to be saved. You were the one they sent in. You were not here to be saved. I love Zachariah Fisher, by the way. He has great posts. This is a great post. It says, just in Sunday, Wall Street is locked. Banks are dark. Wires are struck until Monday. The XRP, this is a great point. The XRP ledger just settled another payment in 4 seconds, and another, and another. The old system has business hours. The new one has a heartbeat. What a beautiful thought. I love that. The XRP, the ledger, the crypto has a heartbeat. All right, this is from Deep State Operator. Your time is up. That's from Daniel Gardiner. We had a wonderful show last night with my friend Vincent. He'll be back next Sunday. President Trump posted the Golden Eagle again. The awakening is going mainstream. They can't stop it. How do I make this bigger? Okay, so let me just go back for a second here. All right, I won't. Okay, let's just keep going. Whatever happened to this story bombshell? Why did the Pentagon bury a massive child porn scandal involving their own employees with security clearance? Why do you think? The mission was never to save. It was to rebuild. Another Zachary Fisher thing. The mission was never to save anyone. The mission was never to, the whole savior idea, that's not it. We're not here to drag people out of their darkness. We're not here to force anyone to wake up. We came here to remember who we are and to hold the line, okay? Beautiful. Let me see. Okay, let me just see what happens. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm back. Okay. Oh, this is a great post. I will love this. In Brazil, the people have begun dismantling the harp towers in the region due to prolonged drought and the absence of rain clouds. Currently, rain clouds are being stolen in Europe and America. They are controlling our weather. Look at these brave people. This is what we will get to soon, in my opinion. This will happen once the republic. I'm not saying, be violent, but really think about it, man. These people got to go. The Genesis stack. All right, I want to get to the BlackRock CEO Larry Fink worried about New York City under Mandami. They said there's a new treasury bill that's like half treasury, half Fed. Sandy Hook, this whole Sandy Hook thing they're saying was there was a big scam, and they were all crisis actors. Good evening, crypto holders. XRP must watch this. Okay, but think about it. This is 7 days, 24/7 crypto. It's not like banker hours where they get to hold your money and invest it while you and take in interest. This was a good story. They couldn't figure out how to tax people, and I think it was Taiwan. So they decided to give, if they paid for their taxes, they would get a lottery ticket, and it was very successful. Rumors the U.S. Senate will pass the Clarity Act on July 13th. That's good. Executive Order 13848 imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States elections. In other words, they're taking the money from these murderous thieves, blocking the property of people involved in human rights abuse. So if you're trafficking children, they're going to take your dough, man. If you were involved in stealing the election, they're just going to take your money. Hello. At 80 years ago, the world found out the hard way that stolen worth does not disappear. It gets laundered. So this is an amazing post. I'm tempted to do it. But Nazi Germany looted gold from every country it conquered. Central bank gold, jewelry, wedding rings, dental fillings, property stripped from people who were murdered. And they go through the whole history of how they stole our money. And then they got the Cold War. So we didn't have time to prosecute the people who were stealing the money. They just took new jobs. They came over here on Operation Paperclip. And this has been going on for a very long time. Breaking SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell says she and her husband will donate a share of their SpaceX to the Trump. Okay. Are you seeing the big picture? American citizens are now becoming shareholders in American success at birth. This is an important observation that mostly goes unnoticed. The Supreme Court just decided that Trump must use regular armed forces to protect federal buildings and federal offices before he calls in the National Guard, so he can call out the Marines. Earth is now. This is where I'm going now. Earth is not a school for learning lessons. No, silly, it's a slave colony. Now go explain to your tax master whether you drove and what you spend your earnings on, or say hell no. Okay, I identify strongly with Sirius B. I think he's definitely worth subscribing to. I totally identify with what he's saying. Oh, he does a lot of stories about how people don't know how to do anything. Like me, I didn't really know how to do anything. This morning, we spent an hour, we spent a half hour tweaking our generator, checking the oil level. I mean, I made fun of myself when I came up here. I said, I don't even know what a generator is. I didn't really know what a generator was when I got here. Now I'm very conscious of the oil pressure and, I'm watching, our lives depend on this stuff. So Earth is not a school. Okay, but Sandy Hook was total charade. What happens when a president declares a national emergency? He has a lot of powers. McDonald's, do you know what the red shoes mean? Okay, public awakening, game over. Never forget why we started. It always was and still is about the children. The $100 bill has now Scott Bassett and Trump's signature on it. Amazing. The new earth is not coming from the sky. It is rising from within the awakened hearts. Every choice for love, presence, and truth is a brick in the foundation. You are not waiting for the shift, you are the shift. So important. Some Q posts that are really good. Everyone should be aware this isn't a heat wave. This isn't a solar flare. They're burning your skin right now is the activation of metallic nanoparticle layer that's been sprayed into the skies for decades. So if you're hurting out there in the weather, that goes with my girl. They're burning the nanoparticles, they say. So it is, you're really literally burning.
Is that why I'm not younger?
Yes, yes. So we took over the Fed, then Twitter, then BlackRock, Vanguard, State Guard, and more. Then we used BlackRock to show over the top ESG, everybody throws to awaken them. So they're using these taken over entities to awaken people. But here it is. The Archon grid, why must some souls be reborn? And they're saying that when we volunteer to go to the light, when we die, we are volunteering to be recycled by the archons who harvest our negative thoughts. This is very interesting. Did you know the Red Cross is owned by the Rothschilds? Did you know the Red Cross is a Knight Templar symbol? Did you know the Red Cross is a hub for child trafficking, organ trafficking, adrenochrome, and money laundering? Did you know that? Come on. Okay, now here we go. I mistakenly I read a Whiplash post about how the broadcasting companies were going down. They couldn't get their license renewed. Whiplash is not a good source. He's kind of like Mr. Poole. He's always saying that the sky is falling, and it's like the boy that cried wolf. 6 major media outlets are refuting to report on Tulsi Gabbard's declassification exposing Dr. Fauci's massive COVID cover-up. Here's the thing about AI, and this is about truth about the book of Enoch and Atlantis. In the book of Enoch, you hear about a race of giants called the Watchers that crash landed on Earth, set up control systems, and began to mate with the women of the Earth. They were ordered not to reproduce. This is the debriefing, the smoking gun timeline of the global purge. You were told these were isolated events. I'm telling you, they were interlocking, globally coordinated takedowns. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that, but I want to get to this one. This is where I want to take the idea in terms of this video of grit, of being like Abraham Lincoln, of getting up no matter what, of doing the right thing, of being true to your soul. And then we want to talk about what Melody said about it looks like it's the Democrats, or it looks like it's the communists or the Jesuits, this is who it really is, in my opinion. The horrors of the Draco and Illuminati bloodlines. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but think of the Klingons in the Star Trek series. The Klingons they were telling us, this was the bad boys telling us that this is very real. It's not just a made up story. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I am going to read a little bit of it. Let me just go back here and show more. And then go back for a minute. And we're going to go here and just look at this for a brief moment together. Okay, let's go to here. Here, go here. Okay, right. Yeah, we had the Harp, not Harry. Right, it's Harp. The people have woken to the communistic threat. Okay, but it's way beyond the communistic threat. That's how President Trump says it, but it's much bigger than that. Okay, let's just read this together. The horrors of the Draco and Illuminati bloodlines. And think of this as I read this. Think about what I said about grit, about leaving the Matrix, about you are the news, according to Q. The Draco reptilians are an aggressive race of intelligent reptilian, humanoid extraterrestrials, or they're from here, I don't know, intent on the domination of other races and planet. They have searched our galaxy for other reptilian and insectoid races that they could colonize and assimilate into their vast interstellar empire, just like the Klingons, and have genetically experimented with Native American races in order to influence their evolution. They are primarily centered in Alpha Draconis, with the majority of them residing in Rigel in the Orion constellation. If you see the stars the way I do at night, the Orion constellation is the most obvious constellation in the sky. When I lived in the city, it was the Big Dipper, but now you can't help but see Orion's belt. The stars up here, by the way, if you're thinking of joining us, are magnificent at night. Okay. The entire malevolent ET race is often referred to as the Orion group. All right, so I'm not going to go through this, but around 200,000 years ago, they started genetic experiments to shorten our telomeres to give us shorter lives, which is why you should get the X39, you should get the X20 machine, and lengthen your telomeres and live age, become younger. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this, but the negative, they are very weak now and currently trapped within our systems, quarantine. Okay, if enough people on Earth were happy for just one day, this negative demonic agenda of depopulation up to 90% of the world's population would end. You get that? Let me read that again. If enough people were happy for one day, the Dracos would be gone. This is their greatest weakness. They can never allow there to be a single moment of happiness on Earth, as even one day of positivity would be enough to wipe them out instantaneously. They are very weak now and currently trapped within our solar system, quarantine, unable to escape their looming defeat by the Galactic Federation and Earth Alliance. The negative is desperate to survive and maintain what little control they have left, but divine intervention has them cornered, ready to be exposed publicly to humanity. They are on the wrong side of history. Nothing can stop what is coming. This is huge, man. I mean, think about it. One day of happiness would destroy them forever. If you're not truly happy, you may want to think. Gene Roddenberry told us a lot about the world. He featured the Dracos and the Nazi connection with his short story. Yeah, the Dracos and the Virils. The Nazis had an allegiance with the Virils, this group of reptilians that are probably connected to the Dracos. The people have woken up to the communist threat. Okay, yeah, but Melody, it's way deeper than the communist threat. But in my opinion, in my opinion, let's just see. Okay, let me just get this. Okay, so it's way deeper than a communist plot. They are harvesting our negative energy. Adrian, I really enjoy hearing you about these. Yeah, Adrian's amazing. On conspiracy night, I should have specified that I will avoid the tunnel of light. I believe it is direct portal to recycling. Okay, so I think that message is being put out a lot, Adrian, and so I'm so flattered and delighted that you actually listen to my channel. But yeah, maybe instead of Guru Gulch, yeah, Lincoln Lenny. Okay, but yeah, Adrian's amazing. So Adrian, I believe you'll be back on Thursday. We're doing the conspiracy night. Anyway, so that's it, man. have grit, do what you really love to do. Adrian is another one. She has a house, she has a spiritual place that is that reflects her inner essence. She's a spiritual warrior, and we're all spiritual warriors, and we're all coming to wake up, and we're all going to have great days, and that'll defeat the Dracos. Okay, so let's do a tune. Just a reminder, everyone. If you have any kind of health issues, and you're just convinced that there's no hope, I invite you to call Dr. Stacy, tell her what your issue is, and she will tell you what patches you could start with. I've been patching for over 3 years. I am amazed. No back pain, no napping, no. I mean, it sounds gross, but I don't pee. I sleep through the night. I'm 71 years old. How many 71-year-old men can make that claim? I slept through the night. I don't always sleep through the night, but generally, I mean, and last night, I mean, I know this is maybe more detail than you want. Was it too much detail? Too much TMD. That's what Roger says. Too much detail. But last night, I guess I was working on the house. I guess I was framing all day yesterday. Oh no, I was putting plywood on the over the studio, and it was a very difficult and a kind of a dangerous job because the wind was blowing, and but anyway, I don't want to get into that. But I would been exposed to the wind all day, and I drank a ton of water before going to bed, and I slept through the night. I mean, admittedly, I was dehydrated by the wind. The wind is fierce in here, and it's so dry. It's so dry that air conditionings don't work. The idea of air conditioners is that you take out the humidity. Like if you live in New York, it's so muggy, you take out the humidity, it cools it down. But here, it's already dry. There's no liquid, there's no humidity in the air already. So you need a swamp cooler. That's what we discovered today. So we're gonna invest when we get a little money. We're going to buy a swamp cooler for Daniela, and she'll be so happy. Thanks, JD. JD, it's good to see you. Your pad may be the answer to raising the vibration. Woodstock 2.0. I'm totally into it, man. I missed. By the way, I was 14 when Woodstock went down. I didn't really want to go. My best friend, who was also 14, went. He went to Woodstock. I did go to concerts at night. I did go to the Fillmore when I was 14, but 15 maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I love the idea. But it can't be just me. It has to be all of us. There were tens of thousands of communes out here a few years ago. What happened? It's very easy to live out here off matrix, and you can have all your buddies and friends and all your creative friends come and live with you, and you can pay off the mortgage and build your own house and live in an RV like we did and dig a well, and everything will come to you. It's just anyway, call Dr. Stacy, get the X2O machine. It's a great machine. It's healing us from the inside. It's putting light into our bodies. Okay, so let's just do the Matrix tune, and just thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for supporting us with the LifeWave product. Adrian, thanks for being you. She's just like, I love Adrian. I had to call her after the thing and tell her, I love you. I love her being, because she's herself. And that's something I also need to work on. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if I can, how do I do this? Oh yeah, I think this is how. Nope.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Moved into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
Okay, so thanks so much. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. May force be with you. May you realize you are force itself. Nothing can stop what's coming. And like Adrian is going to tell us probably on Thursday, but just a heads up that God, if you happen to go to the other side in the next couple of days, don't go for the light, man. Just tell those people, hey, man, what's up with that? What really is this really the right way to go? Use the force. We are the force. Use source. We are source. Join get a humanitarian project. They will help you out. Join the Republic for sure. Join the Republic. It's so important. We had our meeting this morning. For Mojave County. It's so much fun to meet with people to re-inhabit the Republic, the real constitutional government that is our birthright, that is our divine right as citizens of this great land. So may force be with you, may source be with you, may you realize that you are source itself, and let's get out there with a big smile on our face and